if Netflix is producing the next one, then please give Basil Joseph like a big budget. Netflix has all the money. Just give him a big budget and I know he can do wonders, because from a storytelling point of view, I think Basil Joseph nailed it.
A film like this is like a refresher,
Right.
when there are
Like a
so
reboot
many
kind of
every
stuff.
day coming out. Yeah.
So can we all agree that this is the best Indian superhero film made so far? Hello everyone, welcome back to All Things Cinema podcast, and today it's almost the end of the year and almost end of my podcast as well, because this is one of the last videos I'll be putting out from this house as well, because I'm moving tomorrow to another place. So I thought I have to somehow get this done today and invite Ashmita and Nona Prince both on the channel as like a special surprise for all the amazing fans out there, amazing subscribers out there, because they have just been treated with such a beautiful superhero film, and I'm sure they will be very, very surprised to see all of us coming together to just talk all things Minnal Murali. So welcome guys, thank you so much for taking time out on a Sunday evening, year end. So first of all, both of you have seen the film and reviewed it on your channel as well. So just once again, initial thoughts. What were the expectations met or exceeded? I'll start with Ashmita.
Expectations, I would say, met. Little bit exceeded also, because I was of course expecting like a nice superhero film which has a very strong rooted storyline and which is rooted to that particular area. What exceeded my expectation was the villain origin story. I was already expecting the superhero origin story and Basil Joseph to nail that. What I was not expecting and what surprised me, and I think that was the biggest takeaway for me, is how much I don't know if it's correct or not, but I really couldn't hate the villain by the end of the film also, even if he was having those evil thoughts. I just felt empathy for the guy at the end of the day. So I don't know, probably will know from Basil Joseph himself that did he want that to happen? Did he want us not to hate the villain? Because that has never happened with me in a superhero film. Most of the times I end up not liking the villain, but here it's I'm still torn. So that was that is where my expectations got exceeded for sure. So overall I had a great viewing experience. Yes.
Yeah, man, I think same thoughts, because I saw the previous two films by Basil Joseph, and I think the first one is amazing. That film shows you that he knows his stuff. It's not like he's trying to become good at filmmaking. Like you see that film, you cannot say it's like his first film. And just watching that film, I knew, okay, I'm sure Minnal Murali is in safe hands. Then I saw the second film. I had a lot of issues with it, but still I was sure that we are gonna get a very grounded superhero film. We'll get a lot of comedy, which is his trait, and I think the superhero elements also. I would say there were some I think some moments where the VFX is not up to the par, even the practical effects they falter in a way, and I think a lot has to do with Spider-Man No Way Home coming out just before it, because I think most of us, I don't know how many, but I saw Spider-Man No Way Home twice before watching this. So I think the standard of of having a visual spectacle of a superhero movie is so high in your mind, and these things suddenly you get noticed. And I think if it wasn't the case, I wouldn't think it would I would mind it anyways. But anyways, it didn't come in the way of the storytelling, which I really liked. And I think as Basil Joseph said in his interview also, that even if you remove the superhero element, this is the story worth telling. And I think that's the main, I think, hero of the film.
She told me she watched it in Hindi as well. So how was the experience different? Because I have seen it only in Malayalam. So did Hindi give the same experience?
Well, actually, because when I watched it in Malayalam, what I'm guessing is that what they were saying is exactly what the captions are like. I'll give you a small example. That Chitrahar scene when the two scientists, like the reporter and the scientist, they're explaining that the triangulation of the planets and all of those things will happen. And the two villagers, they say, will Chitrahar get aired? But that is the dialogue, actual dialogue, which has been translated in the subtitles as well. And you hear the actors say Chitrahar. But in the Hindi one, that joke is not there, because that is supposed to be like a joke, a subtle joke placed over there, that people only care about Chitrahar at that point of time. They don't care about these planetary movements. So in Hindi, the dialogue is like, हाँ मेरे को तो इससे ज्यादा कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, ठीक है, जो होना है हो जाए, मतलब. So that is the difference. So I could definitely see that a lot of dialogue has been changed, because I was completely like, okay, in Malayalam, whatever they are saying, I'm sure the exact translation is not there in the subtitles also, but definitely, yeah, there is a difference in viewing. There's a difference in viewing. Of course, in the second time, I knew what was going to happen and all of that. So I thought, okay, is it going to diminish the fun that I'm having while watching? That did not happen. That did not happen. Like, I was eagerly like looking forward to the next scene. Okay, I knew that this scene was going to come. But yes, in terms of dialogue, there is definitely like, there's a difference between the subtitles and the Hindi dialogues for sure.
What about the voice acting of the people who did the Hindi dubbing?
Not bad. I mean, I had very low expectations, because usually my experience has been that whatever films from, you know, the South industry comes, Telugu, you know, Malayalam or Tamil, the Hindi dub, I have never had a really good experience with the Hindi dub. So I think I was pretty much like, my expectations were so low that maybe because of that, I ended up liking the Hindi dub also. Like, it was not awful, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but did both of you guys, by any chance, also waited for, you know, the end credits to get over, and then just like Marvel, were you anticipating anything to come again after that?
I actually brushed through. I was like looking at the cursor. Is there going to be an end credit scene? I actually did that.
Okay.
Actually, I reacted to the whole movie with my friend. So we have to get to edit that video. But I think we both were, you know, checking if there's you know, any end credits or something like that. But no, there wasn't.
I actually watched Spider-Man just yesterday. So I had seen Minnal Murali first, and then I saw Spider-Man. So, and you know, like, as you said, since Spider-Man had just come a week ago and then this came, so it was like, you know, an advantage as well as, you know, a very unfair comparison, because, you know, Minnal Murali is made in like 200th of the budget what Hollywood superhero films get. But then at the same time, because that whole superhero hoopla was going around, and, you know, Spider-Man is still doing so good, so somewhere it's like Behti Ganga mein haath dhone wala bhi, you know, it would have definitely benefited Minnal Murali. So did you guys think, I saw Nona's review as well, he said this is definitely like a theatrical experience, so it would have been better. But do you think directly coming onto Netflix is also beneficiary, because directly it's going to 200 countries at the same time, and it just gives a bit more wider reach for the audience?
Ashmita?
So the thing is, even I said this in my review, that I would have loved to watch this movie in the theaters, because I would have really enjoyed, especially in the entire climax fight sequence over there. But the thing is, I am so happy the way Netflix has promoted this movie. Like, they have gone all out. I am personally very happy, because they are literally like pushing this film. And the fact that, you know, people are, you know, non-Malayalam speaking audience is also watching it, that makes me very happy. I don't know if the theatrical release would have gotten so much reach. Definitely it would have been a super hit in Kerala, no doubts, and other parts of South India, no doubts about that. But I would have personally, you know, enjoyed this in the theaters, but I'm actually very happy that it eventually released in Netflix. I'm really happy with the response. So no complaints there.
Same thoughts. And, you know, I've said it before, even if this film had released pre-COVID, I don't think, you know, they wouldn't have gotten the screens in North India, because there's Hindi films competing for it, right? Like, even Pushpa, like, there's just one show the first week, you know, near me. So there's no way, you know, Minnal Murali could have gotten that pan-India release. They were trying from the beginning at least.
Right.
Yeah. And then the film is just too long for a theatrical release, you know. people don't like long film nowadays. They want quicker films so they can get more shows in a day. So I think we, as people who want to enjoy the craft, we would love the theater experience. But I think Netflix is the best thing that could have happened to the film. And
True.
because also that, because when it would have come on OTT, we all could have watched it, right? But now everything has happened at the same time, so the buzz is at the same time, so it's multiplied, and everyone's talking about it. Everyone's like, oh, there's a movie come out, everyone's talking about, let me watch also. And it's available in like English also, forget other languages, it's even in English available. So I think
Yes, you're right.
nothing better could have happened.
Yeah, I mean, and since things started opening up, and all these plethora of movies started getting lined up, so I don't think, even if it was going to have a theatrical release, what kind of slot would have suited it? Because, as you said, there was Pushpa, but then universally there is Spider-Man. Then Hindi mein there are a couple of big ones, 83, and then Jersey is also coming. So I think, and somewhere I also felt like they chose the release date very wisely, because there was a very Christmas-based scene as well in the film where he's playing the Santa, and you get those
Yeah.
sort of Christmas vibes in
Right.
that film, in that scene. So now coming to the performances, again, Tovino he looked every part like a superhero. But whatever ingredients a superhero character should have, he incorporated in his performance, both as Jason and Minnal Murali. So Nona, what were your thoughts about his performance in both the parts?
I think him playing two characters, that like his father as well as himself, I think that makes it more interesting when you see the film. That, and at no point, at least I think people who know him and have seen his films, they would like immediately understand, oh, he's the same guy, But I think people who have never seen him before or something, they would not relate, oh, he's the same guy playing both the characters. And to play both the characters and still maintain the differentiality, is he has a big beard, but still, the way he portrays both the characters is so different. And the immatureness he has throughout the film in the beginning, that I think because Guru Somasundram did such a great job, it definitely overshadowed him. I think even in the writing it happened, but still, to have his own ground in the film, that whenever it comes to him, you don't feel like, oh, just rush it, I want to go to the other part. So I think in that sense he really sticks around. And I think throughout, and he did so many movies, like how many hours does he have in a day? Like one more is coming out, so he's just, I think, phenomenal actor throughout the year, and cannot wait to watch more.
Ashmita, you also felt that Shibu actually kind of overshadowed Jason because of purely acting skills, and of course the way the character arc was written.
I agree with Nona here, because I think the fact that the makers, one thing I would say that also added to Shibu's aura overall, is that the makers deliberately did not give us anything, any
Yeah.
information about the villain. So already there was an intrigue that who's going to be like this guy who's opposite Minnal, and why is he not getting revealed, like at least a glimpse or whatever. We have no idea basically. So that intrigue was definitely there. I personally was blown away by Guru Sir's performance, and I was like, okay, this is too much. Like I said before, I really could not hate him. As a character, also, I really couldn't hate Shibu, even by the end of the film. Even though I know that yes, Minnal is going to eventually win this fight. But coming back to Tovino, I think that immature, guy who wants to just go to America. There's this scene where his nephew is saying that all these superhero characters are in America. So it's like, okay, even I'll go there. I'm just gonna earn over there from all my gimmicks. So by the end of the day, it had a little Spider-Man kind of feel for, I don't know, because maybe we have just watched this movie, that entire arc of him being immature and then coming to realize the weight of the responsibility that this power gives him. So I thought the beats were pretty much similar over there, and Tovino played the part really well. And I think the entire that maturity of Minnal Murali, probably will see more of that in the second film, because now he is out of that immature phase. This was just the origin story. So I think that distinction was done really well. I'm looking forward to Tovino's future films. And Tovino has I mean, seriously, he's had such a great run this year. I mean, so many of his films I have applauded, appreciated. I don't think any of his performances I've said, okay, yeah, this role didn't work for me. So Tovino has had like 100% track record, at least in my books, this year.
You
I
know,
think to
yeah, yeah.
add to that point, right? That's my Spider-Man relation. I recently, watched the first Spider-Man twice, the Tobey Maguire one, and I think in a way the screenplay structure is very similar, because in the first movie also both Spider-Man and Green Goblin are parallelly built up, and here also both the hero and the villain are parallelly building up, and then they finally meet, and the story goes ahead. I think in that sense there are a lot of similarities, intentional, not intentional, I don't know, but definitely there are these parallels you can draw.
Correct.
And just like this quote in the background on my wall says, it's not just about ideas, it's about ideas making happen. So you have to make them happen. It's one thing to have just one idea, but to execute it and to be able to deliver a film like that, and just I think 18 crore budget, some people were putting comments on my
Yeah.
so
18, 20, this were fluctuating between 18 and 20.
So safe to say that the limited resources they had, they could do whatever the best they could. They did that in that budget, and I don't think we should be really complaining about the fact that the VFX were not up to the mark, or any other sort of complaint, which provided that if we are comparing it with other superhero films, you have to also remember the budget constraints this film had. So, you guys are satisfied with how things panned out eventually because of the budget constraints?
Yes, I didn't have any problem. Like, this is something that my eyes caught, because I could see, not at least in climax sequence, I thought the VFX was done pretty well with whatever constraint they had. Couple of previous scenes, like there was this fight in the bus between them, and the bus is falling down. So there, I could just see it, that okay, it's looking a little bit, I know that there is VFX involved here, but I said that okay, just ignore this, it's fine, it's more of the story for me, because it's keeping me hooked. Like, it did not distract me or take me out of the film. And I say this in my review also, that if Netflix is producing the next one, then please give Basil Joseph like a big budget. Netflix has all the money. Just give him a big budget, and I know he can do wonders, because from a storytelling point of view, I think Basil Joseph nailed it. And this was my first, Basil Joseph film. But I knew that, a lot of people had told me that he's really good director, very, like, his comedy is very subtle and he does it really well. So I thought, okay, then the movie and the trailers and everything, they look so good. So I was thinking, okay, if Netflix gives him like a really good budget, I think he'll do wonders with that. So for me, with the VFX particularly, it did not hamper any viewing experience. It's just that in a couple of places I caught it, but then I was like, okay, let's just move past it.
I think for me, it's very much, I don't care what's the budget. It's $2,000 million or it's 2 rupees. It doesn't matter. It's all about the storytelling, right? And I think these things just enhance the experience. And I think, as Ashmita said, right, the bus scene, it's not just the VFX. I think even the editing was really choppy there. I definitely need to watch the film again. But it's just the continuation, and it's like a general people don't even would care about these things, but it's just that because we edit videos, we know about it, how it works out, you can detect these things because you have trained your eye to do it, because we do it all the time. So I think it's just that it's just the I call it it's like a curse, knowing how things work behind the scenes sometimes. So it's not a big deal. And after that, I'm back in the story because the story is so great. If I'm not, then that's a big issue. That then I'll like, oh, this didn't work out. There were major issues. The scenes don't connect, but it does connect later. Emotionally, I'm invested. I think at the end of the day, that's what you want, and I think the film delivers on it.
So, can we all agree that this is the best Indian superhero film made so far?
I would say Joshi.
Yeah, and same. I said that in my review also.
My love for Bhavesh Joshi is very high.
It's like, I think I think you live in Mumbai, right? And I think for a Malayali, of course, this will be. But I think even when I saw Bhavi Joshi, I was in Mumbai, so it's just a different connection. As well as that film is a lot inspired from a Dark Knight or Batman. The mythos of that. It's not a superhero again. A lot of people complain that he's not a superhero, you cannot count it, but he is
it's
kind
more
of a
Batman
superhero.
kind. Yeah, he's kind
Like
of
the
a
whole
super.
the whole point of the movie is that you don't need superpowers to be superhero. Like it's all about being that selfless, even in this movie.
He's
So I think
more of a
it's just
vigilante.
yeah, he's a
Yeah,
vigilante
but
technically.
in the superhero genre, like with superpowers and all, yeah, definitely Minnal Murali is really such a great start to this genre. I mean, yeah, it needs to be explored more. And I think what this movie got right is that you don't need those larger than life gimmicks all the time in a superhero film to tell this good story. You need a very good plot and then work around it. And because when I was watching the film, I was really not thinking about the powers. At one point
Yeah,
of time, I'm so invested in the story. I'm like, yeah, okay, acha, haan, powers bhi hai inke paas. Okay, yes. Now I
like
remember. It
honestly,
was
I didn't
like
even
that.
care, which one he has. And that whole
Exactly.
sequence, where they're testing the power, like, okay, I want to know the story. I don't want this I've seen many times. And people say like there's a superhero saturation and superhero fatigue happening, and I think a film like this is like a refresher,
Right.
when there are
Like a
so
reboot
many
kind of
every
stuff.
day
Yeah,
coming out. Yeah.
true.
And I think another lesson that we can learn from this film is you don't need cheesy songs or romantic angles also in these kind of films, because we have seen in films like Krish or even Flying Jet and, Ravan, they try to put all these meaningless songs. And here the music was so on the point, and as a music composer myself, I was so fascinated by the background score and or the use of song to take the narrative forward.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, that I love this album. I loved this entire album because before the release, they were releasing all these songs, and even the song, it was more like a lyric video with animated paintings and all of that. But I loved the songs beforehand only because the album is really good. The entire album is really good.
By the way,
What made me more excited is that when the song placement, I saw the song placement, I said, they have literally nailed this album. Really, I love the song placements in the film.
yeah, I think spotting is very important. Like it's a process when director and music director we sit together and we spot the places where to put the music, where not to. So that way they nailed it.
Okay.
And just continuing that little point, Mard Ko Dard Nahi Hota is another very impressive film in that genre,
Yes.
and its music also is very kind of in the same zone as well. If you have noticed, like the background score and all. So somewhere the main theme also reminded me of that sort of music genre that they played around with. Any like particular message you guys would like to give to the viewers of this channel, because you guys definitely have done this for a longer time than I have, and I'm relatively newer to this. So, what would you like to say? Not just Malayalam movie watchers, but in cinema watchers in general.
Start with the senior most, Nona.
What senior most?
Senior
You are
most in the game.
senior.
Senior most in the game.
No, man. I think you should definitely subscribe to this channel. Great content, great discussion coming out, and I would tell you that you're doing a great job, and thanks for inviting me. I'm sorry, you asked me a lot of times and I'm unable to make it. But again, thanks for having me here, and it was a great session. And I think everyone just enjoy. You have the pleasure, you have the what do you say, the luxury of watching movies at a time like this. So just enjoy it and have fun in life.
And also like a great year for cinema lovers 2021 had been, because of so much of content to consume on OTT, and now with theaters opening, for us also, like so with theaters opening now, you have to make more time to go out, travel to and fro, and then couple of hours in the theater. So that way you have to manage time even more judiciously now to make all this content for the channel. So Ashmita, your parting thoughts?
Parting thoughts. Number one, listen to Palke. Stream Keshav's song Palke.
Nice.
It's a nice song.
Nice plug-in.
Very nice song. Yes. And just enjoy the remaining days of this year. Hopefully 2022 will be even better for the movies. Than
2022. It's twice.
yes, it'll be even like better for the movies, and hope we get some great, amazing films from all across the country. So yeah.
Well, I have another song coming tomorrow, so I'm very excited for that. For you guys to hear
Seen
it.
that also, people.
Yeah. But anyway, once again, thank you so much, both of you. I hope you had a great Christmas, and I hope you have a amazing final week of the year and a great new year as well. So God bless everyone, and guys, please go check out both of these channels if by chance any of you still don't know them. And if you are new here coming from their channel, then please hit the subscribe and like button if you find the content worthy enough. So thank you, and we'll see you next year probably.